What's up guys, Kyle here again and welcome to another episode of FAQ'N Friday. This episode is going to be a little special because I have kind of some big news for the channel. I am actually going to be working on the channel full time for the next few months at minimum. You guys are probably thinking, what the hell is wrong with you? Your channel's only 7 months old, you only have 4,000 subscribers. Why would you do that? To be honest with you guys, it's something that I had thought about, but I just didn't really think was a reality. It was kind of like a pipe dream, especially when I first started the channel. I'm like, oh yeah, that would be cool, but it's never something that I honestly considered. But over the past 2 months or so, it was something that kind of kept creeping back into my mind as something that I really wanted to work towards for the future. You guys have been so supportive of the channel so far, and I really appreciate all the support that you guys have shown me. And the better I get at this stuff, the more comfortable I feel doing it, the more kind of creative ideas I get in my head, the better I get at video editing, the more and more it kind of becomes a reality. So anyways, the reason for it is not because I was so confident in myself at this point in the game that I could just, you know, say screw it and go full time. I actually lost my job last week and it was unexpected. So luckily I'm in a position where I really don't have to worry about finances for a little while. And it gives me some time to really kind of sink some time into the channel, hone the craft, really kind of figure out what else I can do other than the amp demos, because as much as I love the amp demos, as much as you guys love the amp demos, I gotta figure out something different or the channel's gonna get stale. So the amp demos are always gonna be the main focus of this channel, but I really wanna work in guitar reviews, I wanna work in more of those speaker cab shootouts, I wanna work in more speaker shootouts, mic comparisons. I would love to get into the tutorials of maybe how I do some things, because some of you guys have asked me to show you guys that as well, like even how I do my YouTube setups. I even thought about throwing together like a little video on a budget YouTube recording setup for guys who want to do guitar related videos. So if that's something you want to see, let me know down in the comments. Honestly, in full disclosure, I lost my job this week and honestly, I'm kind of pumped about it. I'm kind of excited that I have this time to work on this thing that I have really grown to love. I started the YouTube channel just purely out of the desire to connect with people over gear and kind of showcase some of the amps that I have, that there aren't a lot of demos out there, and it's already grown into this thing much larger than I would have imagined, especially in such a short time. So I'm just gonna keep working on it and getting better at it and learning everything I can to make the channel better. And I would also love suggestions from you guys on what you'd like to see from me. Do you wanna see guitar reviews? Do you wanna see like miking tutorials and mic shootouts, stuff like that? Let me know in the comments. I'm very open to what you guys want to see, as this channel is all about delivering useful videos for you guys. So with that being said, I'm actually finally going to start posting things on my Reverb Store, because I'm gonna have to keep the gear in rotation a little bit more than I did without a constant paycheck coming in. I would love to get some of my amps in your hands after I'm done with them, guys. And then if you guys are looking to get rid of anything, hit me up if you think it's something I'm interested in and maybe we can work out a deal. That's the stuff that keeps this channel going. So I'm gonna put a link down below for the Reverb Store. I'm gonna put a link down below for my Facebook Marketplace. Now more than ever, guys, your support through things like Patreon. I think I've got 10 or 11 guys on my Patreon already, and I appreciate each and every one of you for helping to support the channel the way that you do. My Patreon, that's going to be a huge way to support me doing this moving forward, as well as my Amazon affiliate links. My DistroKid VIP code is still down there. I get a little commission every time you guys sign up DistroKid through me. I'm actually going to finally get a merch design done so I can do, I'm thinking t-shirts and coffee mugs. Hats would be cool too. Not sure if I want to do a pre-order or just print them and sell them once they get here, but you guys let me know. Would you guys be interested in merch? I'm gonna start thinking of some ideas and I'll be posting them in the community tab for you guys to vote on different designs once I get some stuff done. But yeah, all that stuff is gonna help the channel tremendously, so please keep that in mind. Subscribing to the videos, watching the videos, clicking on the links below, all that stuff helps me tremendously. And again, I really appreciate your guys' support. I hope that we can come up with some awesome video ideas together, because I've said many times, this channel is as much yours as it is mine. I'm here to make videos that are helpful for you guys, and I never want to stop. I always want to continue doing that, because that's the whole reason that this exists in the first place. So yeah, with all of that out of the way, again, appreciate your guys' support so much. I can't believe that this channel's grown the way that it has. I sound like a broken record because I know I say that almost every week, but it really does blow my mind. The level of support you guys have shown me already is incredible, and I thank you guys so much. I'm appreciative for it each and every day. It's really given my life kind of a new passion, because I've always wanted to be involved in the guitar gear industry somehow, and I've always been part of groups and forums and talked to tons of people about gear and stuff, but this channel has really been such an awesome outlet for me to be able to actually connect with you guys, give you guys opinions, and show you useful things as far as guitar gear is related. It's been a dream come true for me, and I've been really excited about it. Moving forward, I'm guessing at least 2 to 3 months I'll be working on the channel full time. We'll see what comes after that. Ideally, I would really love to end up working with one of the companies in the industry in maybe some sort of remote fashion or something. I have so much passion for guitar stuff. I have so much knowledge as far as gear and everything goes that I would love to bring that to a company within the industry and be able to not only grow myself, but help that company as well. So eventually I think that's the goal. I'd really love to work directly within the industry and continue the YouTube channel at the same time, but we'll see. We'll see what the future brings. I'm excited either way. I'm excited to have you guys along for the ride. So thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate your support so much. All right, now that all that stuff's out of the way, let's answer a couple questions, why don't we? That's the name of the damn show in the first place, right? All right, Grissos25. No idea, is that a name? I'm not sure. It's not a word. Doesn't seem like a name either. Which 2x12s have you tried that sound close to a 4x12? I'd love to get that punch and sound, but without breaking my back. So again, guys, I know I'm a big cab advocate, and I think I've mentioned a couple times, I haven't played that many 2x12 cabs before because I always just felt like I was getting ripped off buying a used 2x12 cab for the same price that I could get a used 4x12 cab. So I stayed away from them for a long time. As of this video, I have 4 different 2x12 cabs now. I've got the Mesa Rectifier 2x12 cab. I've got a number of the EVH 2x12 cabs that I bought for speaker shootout comparisons. I have a Randall 212 CB loaded with vintage 30s, which is awesome. And I just got from my buddy Mav in Cleveland a 2x12 Friedman cab. Of all those, the Mesa and the Friedman cab sound huge. Like the first time I plugged into that Mesa 212, I couldn't believe how big it sounded, especially if you're not standing directly in front of it. If you're standing just off to the side, it sounds like a 412. Like I would never, if I was not in the room with that cab, I would never think that it was smaller than a 412 cabinet. So I was really impressed by that thing. And the Friedman is that, but even a little more so. The Friedmans, if you guys don't know, the 2x12 cabs have a small rectangular port on the back of the cab to enhance the bass response, make the low end feel bigger and punchier. Again, that thing sounds like a good 412 in the room. It's insane. I shouldn't have waited this long to get into 212 cabinets, but here I am now collecting them because I am maybe moving into a little impulse response venture that I may have mentioned or may not have mentioned, or I'm just gonna keep saying really vague things, but I think it's obvious what's going on here, so keep your eyes peeled for that stuff. But anyways, I have been collecting more and more cabinets lately, and the 2x12s that I have been really impressive. The EVHs sound awesome, but they are a little stiff at this point. They need broken in because I bought all 3 of them brand new, so I gotta break in the cabs, I gotta break in the speakers before I pass judgment on those. But as of now, the Mesa 2x12 rectifier cab and the Friedman cab sound massive, so I would suggest those. Beardcore asks, what gauge strings do you use for standard tuning and for drop C? Thanks for the question, man. So for standard, it depends on the guitar. I tend to like 11 to 50 on my Gibson scale guitars, which are 24 3/4, and if I'm doing a 25.5-inch scale like my Schecter stuff, I like the 11 to 49s. It's not a big difference, but it's enough, it's there. So that's what I use for standard E tuning on those guitars. If I'm tuning down to drop C, which is where my hardcore bands play at, I'm gonna put 11 to 56s on my Gibson scale guitars, and then I'm gonna put 11 to 54s on my 25.5-inch scale guitars. It's weird because when I tune lower, I like to go as light as I can while still getting a good amount of tension on the strings, because I feel that bigger, fatter strings tend to muddy up the tone a little bit when you go to those lower tunings. For standard tunings, especially because I'm playing a lot of thrashy stuff, I really like the string tension to be tight. That way the strings aren't flopping around or anything. And also I kind of tend to grip pretty hard with my left hand, so fatter strings, I don't bend notes out of pitch as easily on the fatter strings while I'm moving all around the fretboard with my freaking ham hands. So yeah, those are the string gauges that I use, and I primarily use D'Addario strings. Always been a D'Addario fan. My band currently has a GHS Boomers endorsement through our record label, and I've tried those. The 11 to 50s are great. I haven't tried any of the other ones, but I have no issues using those strings either, but I'm always gonna tend to go to the D'Addario side because I've just always loved how the XL strings sound. All right, Voodoo Custom Pickups, my man Rich asks, what do you think of armored amplification? Thanks for the question, Rich. So I actually had the Armored Sabo on my channel very early in the channel, and it was because of James at Armored Amplification. Him and Dalton Peters actually got together, sent me Dalton's Sabo, and let me keep it for like a month in order to play around with it and try it. And I was pretty impressed by it. It's definitely got its own voicing. The amount of options built into that amp are awesome, and for being a hand-wired amp built here in the USA with the amount of features that were included in it, it had a nice beefy power section in it. And I think it was only like $1,700 new. That's not bad at all, man. So my experience with Armored and with James is an awesome dude. He was always there when I was asking him questions about the amp. He was very appreciative of my demos and everything. So he was a great guy to work with. He now has a retail store where he has all sorts of gear for sale on top of his Armored amps. So I believe he has a website too. I will find that, put a link down in the description for you guys to go check out Armored Amplification. But yeah, my experiences with Armored have been nothing but awesome. The amp sounded great. The only complaint I had about it, and it's not a complaint, it's just a personal taste thing. So take me with a grain of salt, as always. You should take everybody with a grain of salt, and that does not exclude myself by any means, because I do have personal tastes. But I try to make sure that you guys are aware that my opinion is based off my taste. But the low end just was a little bit too loose for me, just a little bit. I could use a little bit more tightening up, but you guys know that I like that ultra tight, stiff, fast attack. So guys who like rectifiers, guys who like Uberschalls, guys who like the original 5150 with the sag that had in it, the Armored Sabo is perfect for those types of tones and for that type of low end. So I think it was an awesome amp. It had some really cool tones built into it, and I would love to try some more James amps when I get a chance. So thanks again, James, for sending that out. Thanks to my man Dalton for also sending that out. You guys are awesome, and I highly suggest you check out Armored. All right, last question comes from Danny M. 50 or 100 watt 6L6 EVH 5150. Which do you prefer? Thanks for the question, Danny. I appreciate you as always. So this is kind of funny. There is a perceived quality difference between the 50 watt EVH stuff and the 100 watt EVH stuff. Why? Because the pricing. The 100 watt has always been significantly more expensive than the 50 watt model, and I gotta say I've never understood that on EVH's end. They're really the same quality, just the 100 watt is much larger physically, doesn't have shared EQ, and is 100 watts. $900 price difference between the two has always kind of baffled me a little bit. That seems pretty extreme. I mean, Mesa charges $300, granted, their 50 and 100 watt models usually have all the same features, just with a larger power section and a 100 watt, but anyways, I have always said I prefer the 50 watt EVH 6L6 model to the 100 watt for one simple reason. The original 100 watt 5153 does not have resonance controls, and believe it or not, makes all the difference. I've been accused of always trying to dial low end out of my tones on this channel. Trust me guys, I like low end. I like a big low end, I like it punchy, I like it full. I just don't like it to be overbearing. But with the EVH 100 watt model, the reason that I sold the 100 and didn't keep it is not because I didn't like the way it sounded. I actually like the blue channel on the 100 watt just a little bit more than on the 50 watt. It's a little more open, it's a little less gainy. So it fits my personal taste great, but not having a resonance control really made the amp sound thinner than the 50 watt model. Because the resonance was at a fixed setting and it actually is not at a setting where it was dialed up very high, it makes the amp sound a lot smaller in the low end than on the 50 watt. What are you doing out there? Why are you itching and shaking? You're driving me nuts, okay? You understand? So anyways, yeah, that's why I've always preferred the 50 watt to the 100 watt, but I actually just got an EL34 100 watt Stealth model, but both of these Stealth 100 watt models have the resonance controls on the back of the amp, so you can actually adjust the resonance. So I imagine this might change my view a little bit, but again, I don't think that the 100 watt models are going to be significantly better. They're certainly not of a higher quality. They're the same quality. They're just in a bigger package with a bigger power section. So those who automatically look at the higher price tag and expect the amp to be better, and then they base their opinion off that, don't look at the price tag, guys. Check things out with your ears. The price tag, if anything, should be a benefit on the 50 watts because they sound just as good, they're just as high quality, and they cost you almost half the price. Just because something is more expensive does not make it better. That's a perception we have as human beings, and we really need to cut that out. But anyways, that is going to be my last question for today. Sorry for the rant. I'm a little hyped up. I'm honestly super excited for what the future holds. Now more than ever, I get some creative flexibility. I get a lot more time to put my videos together and edit them properly and not make stupid mistakes like I kind of tend to do because I'm always in a hurry. Well, now I've got time. I really hope that I'm able to increase the quality of the videos and provide the content that you guys want to see. Again, your support goes a long way. Patreon membership, buying that merch that's going to come out in the near future, joining my groups like my Facebook group and my Discord server that'll be down in the description of this video. That stuff helps the community grow and it helps me get ideas and connect with you guys one-on-one. So please keep all those things in mind. As always, thank you guys so much for your questions. Please, for next week, leave your questions down below in the comments. I will be sure to answer as many as I possibly can. Thank you guys so much for being here. Kyle here again, and we'll see you next time. Bye!